All right, so first of all, thank you for being with us today. Pretty important day for us. We had the pleasure of being able to get our new industry minister, Ian Macfarlane, here to Elizabeth. Ian, you've only been in the job a couple of weeks, so we feel very fortunate. I know automotive is not the only...
You were the first text I sent, went to you. The first message when the Prime Minister rang me was you.
And it was an interesting exchange, yes.
It was.
And,
like the blue touch paper and retire.
Absolutely.
We understood.
We have been, actually, Ian and I have had an opportunity over my 3.5 years here to have a number of conversations, so we're not new to each other. A lot has changed in our facility, so one of our focuses today, main goal today, was a couple of things. To be able to demonstrate to the minister the types of things that have been improved in the plant, the significant investments that have been made over the last 6 or 7 years since he was last minister, and also to show him some of the fantastic vehicles that we're able to build.
The plant's a lot better now than it was last time I saw it.
It's
a lot better.
So with that, really welcome to you to Holden again. And another significant thing that I think is important for everybody to note is that we were able to get a bipartisan approach today. We've got the Premier here. We have the opposition leader of South Australia here, Stephen Marshall.
We've
got Senator Xenophon.
Well done, Senator.
This is an issue that is far too important to be politicized, and I think the attendance today demonstrates that. With that, I'll turn it over to Ian to make any comments that you'd like to make.
Well, thanks, Mike. Look, I spoke to Tony Abbott this morning before I left the hotel. He rang me just to make sure everything was on track. The industry, the car industry, is very important to Tony. He obviously is committed to making sure we make things in Australia. He's made me the industry minister, and for my sins, he's given me a portfolio that covers about 3/4 of the GDP. So I've got not only industry, but I've got science, I've got resources, I've got energy. I'm going to miss some apprenticeships. I've got a joint thing with the ARC, and the reason I mentioned the Australian Research Council and my invention and technology part of the portfolio is that's going to be very important. The car industry, as I was discussing with the Premier last night at dinner, we just had a quiet chat at the Parlamento, which is a great little Italian restaurant just down from where I stay. We had a chat for a couple of hours, and I just said, look, this isn't just cars and bolts and tyres and V8s and stuff going fast. It is about the technology, the innovation, the fashion, the whole lot that goes into a modern car built in Australia. And I want to use the full breadth of my portfolio. So I want to use the science, I want to use the innovation, I want to use the collaboration. I'm going to have centres of excellence when I've talked to Cabinet about how we do that. One of those will be advanced manufacturing. I want to see cooperation between the states. I want to see cooperation between the parties. I asked Steve Marshall to come here today with his industry shadow, and Tom Kenyon's here. Martin Hamilton-Smith, who's the coalition shadow, and I have known each other a long time. I want all the parties involved. There's to be no politics. If anyone gets political with this, I'm going to shut the door from the other side and go and do those other parts of my portfolio until they think it's time to start again on motor cars. Obviously, we don't have that sort of time, so I'm hoping everyone plays the game. I've got the local mayor here. I want everyone involved because this is one hell of a challenge. One hell of a solution is required. Those people over there whose livelihoods, their houses, the vehicles they drive, the school fees they pay, costs that they pay as parents and as workers and keeping their households going, rely on this plant staying. So my goal is to keep this one, to keep the one in Melbourne that Toyota make Toyotas at. I'd like to think I can do something with Ford. I want to have another discussion with the Ford people. I'm going to Ford and Toyota next Wednesday, and I'm going to see what we can do over there. But I also want to involve the component people. The Premier last night told me at dinner 40,000 jobs are affected by this industry. Was that just in Victoria?
About 33 and about 700 here.
That's right. Yeah, 7,000 here, 33 in Victoria. So, look, it's really important. We're going to have to involve the Productivity Commission. They will have a view. I'm a bit of an enthusiast of the car industry, so I'll have a view. Jay's got a view. I'm sure Mike's got a view. I think we're all at the same point. We've just got to get somewhere to meet in the middle. there's not a lot of money. In fact, the Labor Party, when they're in power, set out to destroy this industry. I don't know whether that was deliberate, but they changed the plan that I put in place in 2005. They introduced a green car scheme, and they removed the green car scheme. They took money away because of the floods in Queensland. I didn't see what that had to do with this down here. Then they weren't going to have a carbon tax. Then they got a carbon tax. That's smashed the competitiveness of the car industry because it nearly doubled the price of electricity to this plant, and because they buy a lot of power at low prices. And then, of course, the coup de grace was just before the campaign started. They introduced the fringe benefits tax. I just want to say to the industry, there'll be no surprises. There'll be one shot at this. I'll be handing the portfolio to my parley sec, Bob Baldwin, when we finish this, one way or the other. I'm hoping it's a plant operating here and 2 plants operating in Victoria, or at least 1 plant and a research centre. That will be it though, and I don't know where the money's going to come from. We're going to have a discussion in Cabinet, we're going to get the PC report, and it's going to take some time. It will require everyone to cooperate. And I'll pass to Jay.
Thank you. And Ian, you're very welcome here. And
I felt very welcome.
Yeah, and it's great that you've come, brought your people. It's great that there's so many parliamentary representatives here from all sides of politics. And we're also grateful for Holden opening up their factory to us. There's a very big team
There
of
you go,
people.
the production numbers, mate.
Yeah,
We had a few interrupted forklifts this morning. Yes, we
right.
did.
So productivity has been a great day for the Holden plant today.
I'll pick it up tomorrow.
Exactly. But it's been wonderful for us to be able to see exactly what's going on here. It's wonderful for Ian and his team to actually get an on-the-ground look at what's happening, given that we're going to be talking about in rooms and meeting rooms about the future of this plant. Look, we start from this basic proposition. We need a strong economy in South Australia. The next basic proposition is we think at the heart of that you have to have a strong manufacturing sector, and the next point is that you've got to have a strong Holdens. Now, that's what we're about. We want to come to an arrangement where Holdens has a secure future, not just for the strength of our economy, because the effects on our economy of a closed Holdens are not only significant, they're of long duration, but at the level of the family, they're just people that are sitting around the kitchen tables at the moment just worrying about their futures. And we want to settle that. We want them to, at a very early time, to be able to know that they have a long-term secure future at this plant and all the other associated industries. I mean, you take this level of activity out of an economy and it craters an economy. And we understand that. That's why we're all here. And we'll work hard on this. I had a good discussion with Ian last night, and I'm really pleased about the way in which he's approaching the issue. I think that gives us every opportunity to come to an agreement. We're about to go upstairs and have our first significant meeting with Holden, the 3 of us together, and then obviously there's a lot of work to be done.